Can we expect some cavalry back for Friday night?
We can. Obviously, Cozzy will be coming back from his suspension, so it'd be great to get him back into the team. Kayla Windsor will be back as well. He's fine to go. And Jake Lever's still a test today, so we'll get a bit more information today with Jake to see where he's at. We're hopeful, but he needs to get through training today.
Is young Lindsay a chance to do a Lazarus here? Looks like he's moving okay.
Yeah, look, he's moving well. It's been a great performance by the medical team and obviously Xavier. But when you get the news that we got, there's still some risk there. So, he'd have to do a lot today to be right, but we're probably more going to be cautious with him and at least give him a week, maybe a couple, just to make sure he's 100% right to go.
Was it an ugly review for you?
Oh, look, it was a strong review. It needed to be. Clearly we're not playing to the standards and expectations that we believe we're capable of. So with that, we're expecting a response. We need to perform to a higher level. We know that we've got some challenges that sit within that, but we also know that we can do things a lot better and in a few areas. So we'll go after that. We're looking forward to the challenge of playing down in Geelong against a really strong footy club and getting to work.
It's clearly been a disappointing fortnight, but first game against the Giants, it looked like your game was in good order. So how do you get back to that? Because it was there early on. Yeah,
look, and that's probably a little bit of the frustrating part of it, that, you start the season round one with a pretty positive, performance outside of the result. And then obviously, 14 days later, there's a lot of things that are concerning in your game. So the first thing is to get as many of our individuals back in a really good form, get back to what we really value as a footy club in terms of how we want to be seen from a playing perspective, and get back to that real team connection and chemistry that we need. So we'll focus on all those things, but we need to be honest, we need to be open, and we need to be vulnerable to lean into some of those things. And looking forward to a strong performance this week.
Did you see some signs of just some selfish behaviour by some pretty decorated players on the weekend?
Well, as I said, we had a pretty strong review in terms of what we expect from each other, and a big part of that is coming back to really valuing the things that we know we do within our game, but within our team. And there's no doubt, from a performance like that, there's going to be lots of criticisms, lots of analysis, a lot of things that don't look great. We own that, we accept that, but we get to do something about it. And that was a big part of this week, was identifying and being clear with what we want to be seen as and what we want to stand for, and then come out and show it.
Well, I think further to that, are you eager to get out there and to just not just talk the talk but walk the walk? I feel like that's been one of the criticisms perhaps labelled at you this week. Yeah,
look, I think when you're performing the way that we are performing, you're going to get criticised because you have better expectations than what you're delivering. So this week can't come around quick enough. We get a chance to show people the response that we're looking for, and that's a big part of the week, is to certainly own it, be clear about it, and then come out and deliver it.
Do you have faith that those bulls you've got in the midfield that have been so great for you for 5 or 6 years can still do it? And the way the game's changed with the 6-6-6 and the talk of breakaway speed being required, can you stick with that tried and tested mix? Yeah,
look, they're a proud group, and some of the players you're talking about are proud players. But we're under no illusions as a club that we're trying to evolve our midfield as well. Cozzy Pickett's someone that spent the whole pre-season training in there. Trent Rivers has certainly been earmarked to go into the midfield group, but through some personnel with McVie and Windsor missing, he's had to spend a fair bit of time in the back half of the ground. And we've gone to the draft in the last few years, with obviously Caleb, Xavier Lindsay, Harvey Langford, to try and regenerate through there as well. So we're under no illusions. That's an area of the ground that we need to grow and get better at. But we've got a proud group, and clearly the first 3 weeks of the season, they've been beaten in there. So we'll get to work. We'll continue to look at our strategy of how we help them. But they're proud and they're looking to respond, and we'll back these guys in. We've got enormous belief in our playing group and those players, and we'll certainly grow.
You heard that your skipper Max Gawn was meeting up with another senior coach. How would you deal with that situation?
It's part of our industry. I don't like it, but if you're not doing it, you're not getting players to your footy club. So I think every club's in that process of going after any player, and no one's off limits.
Even captains?
Yeah, I think that's where we're at. You know, it started as leadership groups, and now we're moving into captains. And I think, as I said, that right now as an industry in clubland, no one's seen as off limits, and player movement's going to get more and more. As I said, I don't like it, but I want to be a part of it because you need to grow your footy club.
Doesn't that make a mockery, Simon, of all the values that clubs talk about, and connection to the jumper and striving for something together? If the captain's looking sideways, and look, I get it, but does it go against sort of everything you talk about in the pre-season and put up around the club?
Oh, as I said, I'm not someone that likes it, and I think that it's a big part of your footy club is around your leaders. But as I said, as an industry right now where we sit, I think right across the competition, I think everyone's seen as a chance to go after certain players to make your club better, and that's what clubs will continue to do.
So we just all have to get more mature about it and separate what might happen next year to week challenges.
Yeah, I think that's pretty simple. That's pretty much where we're at as an industry, and I think supporters I think would be similar. They probably don't like it, but they also would love to get some great players to their footy club. So you can't have it both ways.
Speaking of your captain, do you just leave him alone this week, knowing that he will be stewing on the last couple of weeks his own performances, or do you feel a need to sit down with him and have a bit of a chat, because in so many respects he's the talisman of this footy?
Yeah, look, he's incredibly proud of his performances, and right now from a midfield perspective, as a group, we're not performing to the level, and he's a part of that. So. He'll own that, he'll work on it, and I know the character of the guy and how proud he is, and I'll be expecting a response from him.
Ball movement wise, are you committed to sort of sticking the course with changing it up a little bit, maybe risking the odd turnover to give your forwards a better look?
Yeah, look, we've committed to evolving our game. Now, right now where it sits, we've got some teething problems. We're not playing the level that we are, but we need to keep growing where the game's going. And we will do that. We're not going to go back into old ways. We want to be better without the ball than what we are currently. We're having 120 points kicked against us regularly, and a bit of that's with our offensive side of our game. But we're committed to getting better. We see potential. We see the belief in the group, and we see the potential in where we can get to. Right now, it doesn't feel like it, but it doesn't take much for it to look a whole lot different as well. And we're confident that'll be the case in the next few weeks.
And do you just have to change some old instincts? Is that one of the challenges as a coach you're dealing with at the moment, saying this is the new path, but maybe for 5 or 6 years they probably have looked a bit more boundary or kick it back where it's come from as opposed to looking in? Are you wrestling with that a little bit?
Oh, anytime you make change, it takes time. Now, how long that takes, I'm not too sure, and hopefully it comes together pretty quickly. But we're committed to a path forward about what our best is going to look like in the future, and we're committed to trying to get that as often as we can. Right now it doesn't feel like it, but as I said, it doesn't take a lot for it to change.
Joel Smith has come out and he's made some comments about his very difficult times. Are the D's keeping in touch with him at all in any way, shape or form?
Yeah, look, our welfare team have done a great job at staying in contact and supporting Joel. It was great to hear that he wants to get back to footy when his band finishes. So yeah, the support's been there from a club perspective with our welfare team, and it's great to see that he's in a good place and looking towards his future.
Would you look at him, do you think he could, he's going to be in his 30s by the time his band ends, and he says he knows it's going to be bloody tough. Could you see him getting back as an AFL player?
Yeah, look, clearly it wouldn't be here, but at 31 you've still got some footy ahead of you. So it's great to see that he's got that ambition and that drive to want to do that, and hopefully he'll be in a position where he's able to do that.
Bailey Fringe, it's just probably during one of the flatter periods of his career, and it's been a fantastic career to this point. Anything you can see that he needs to alter in his game or focus on just to be a bit more valuable for you?
Yeah, look, I thought on the weekend, clearly he didn't take his opportunities and dropped a few marks that he should have taken. There were some steps forward on the weekend, but as a collective, we've got too many guys that aren't quite in the form that they need to be. And Bailey certainly puts his hand up to being one of those. So look, he's continuing to work hard. We've certainly got faith in where he can, take his game and where he can get to again. But I saw some steps forward on the weekend. But I think there's a few people in that basket as well, and we've put some guys back to the VFL in recent times, like Daniel Turner and Harvey Langford, to get into some really strong form with some success, and we might have to do that with a few others in time.